Wholesale Hotline. I'm Brent Daniels.
I'm Jamil Damji.
And I'm Jerry Norton.
And I'm Pace Morby.
Every week we bring you the best information on real estate investing.
Be sure to participate in the comments.
And subscribe.
Enjoy the show!
So thank you so much for calling Wholesale Hotline.
Wow, that's great.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 264. I am Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People, and maybe the other guys will jump on. Jamil and Pace and Jerry are running an incredible squad up summit in Dallas, Texas. This is their third day, and it looked like it was an absolute game changer of an event. Over 3,000 people there. 3,000 real estate entrepreneurs in one spot. Holy cow, what an event. Let me know if you guys popped in there in the chat. But as we get going today, I want to go through some things. I get questions often when people are starting to build some momentum on how should they get started? What kind of properties should they be going after? Should I be going after properties in my backyard? Should I be going after properties nationwide? Should I be buying leads? Should I be calling people? Should I be door knocking? Should I be text messaging? All of those things. So I want to go through a training here. It's 12 slides that I think are going to really cut to the core so that you can go out this week, not next week, not next month, not in 6 months, but this week, and go and find an unbelievable wholesale deal that you can turn into income. Because that is the point of the show, is to give you the instruction to actually go out there and provide value, right? So let's warm this up with defining your buy box. What kind of properties should you be focusing on as you're building momentum? And I believe that this buy box here that's on your screen should be the type of properties that you should go after for your first 12 months in this business. Okay? And this is what I want you to focus on. Number one is location. I want you to start close to home if possible. If you live in the middle of nowhere, then you can expand into a bigger market and drive a little bit. But for the most part, you have opportunities where you live. Why do I want you to go after properties where you live? Because you probably have some idea of what a deal is. You have some idea of what the values in your area are. And that's really, really, really important as you're getting started. Okay, so for the location, start close to home if possible. Now, what kind of property should we be going after? You should be going after single family houses. Okay, single family houses. That's where you should be looking at. Why? Because as real estate wholesalers, we provide the opportunity. This is what I want you to imagine. Hey, Matt, are you able to, well, I won't mess with you. This is what I want you to imagine, okay? I want you to imagine, we went through this last Wednesday. I want you to imagine that you are a prospector and you're out there panning for gold, and you start finding some gold flecks, and then you will realize this is the land that I can find gold, raw gold. I'm going to have to get in there. I'm going to have to get nitty gritty. I'm going to have to get dirty. I'm going to have to dig. I'm going to have to be in a tunnel. I'm going to have to do all the hard work. But once I get all of these rocks, ground up, and all of this raw gold is put into the furnace, and it's just poured out into gold blocks. That's what wholesaling is. When we take those gold blocks and we give it to the jeweler, it's the jeweler's job to make something beautiful out of it. It's the jeweler's job to go and do all the design and to take it and make sure that they get the most out of whatever they make out of that gold. That's their job. That's fix and flippers. That's people that are building their portfolio. They are the jewelers of the business. We are the ones out in the dirt. We're the ones finding all the best opportunities. Okay? Now listen. As you progress in this business, you're going to have a path here. You're going to have the path of vertically integrating. Do I go buy the land, find the gold, process the gold, melt the gold down into gold bars, and then turn it into beautiful jewelry myself, which is finding the deals and then flipping the deals to get the absolute most profit out of every single deal? That's going to be a decision that only you can make. Plenty of people have built a fortune on just specializing on one or the other, on just being the prospector out there, finding the gold, and being the jeweler out there, designing something beautiful and putting it out to the consumer. Okay. And people have made a fortune doing it both, doing all of it. Right. But you're going to have to decide. And when you are getting started, as you're building momentum in your business, your first 12 months should be in the dirt. Your first 12 months should be going out there and finding the opportunities, being able to recognize the absolute best deals in your marketplace. Because once you're able to do that, you're not going to screw up being a jeweler. You're not going to overpay for the raw gold. You know what I mean? You're going to understand true values. You're going to understand how to evaluate these opportunities. Got it? Good. Let's keep going. All right. Now, single family houses. Start with the single family houses because that's where the jewelers, that's what they want to buy. Those are the gold bars. That's where you have the biggest pool of cash buyer investors in the country are for single family properties. Okay. There's some that will do manufactured. There's some that'll do condos. There's some that'll do townhouses. There's some that want multifamily. But for the most of it, if you look at the stats, 70 to 80% of the cash purchases in your marketplace are going to be single family houses. So go where the jewelers are. Go with the product that they want. Okay. Now, square footage. I want you to focus for properties that are under 2,000 square feet. Why under 2,000 square feet? Because that's where the buyers are. If the buyers, this is the perfect scenario for a fix and flipper or a buy and hold investor. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's under 2,000 square feet. I put about 30 to 55,000 into remodeling this property, and I sell it and make a profit of about 40 to 50,000. That is the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot for the cash buyers that we're selling to. Okay. And your budgets get blown out of proportion when you're above 2,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet, 3,500 square feet. Once it starts getting bigger, then the budgets get bigger and the profits get smaller, typically. It obviously depends on what price you buy it at. We make money when we buy. We make money when we buy. But for the most part, people like simple, easy flips that can be done in 30, 45 days. Why? Because of market turbulence. Why? Because every single flipper has seen the market shift and they've been caught and they've lost money. And that feels horrible. And so they want to avoid that at all costs. They want to run away from pain more than they want to run towards pleasure every time. I'm telling you, any flipper in this business that has done over 10, 15, 20 flips will run away. They want to protect their downside more than really increase the upside. All right. Especially in these markets, especially in a market where it's not going crazy. The interest rates are historically low. There isn't like a lack of inventory. Like they're going to be conservative because there's more turbulence right now. So make sure that you stick with the properties that are under about 2,000 square feet. All right. Now, what price range do you want to be going after? Do you want to be going after luxury? Do you want to be going after the properties that are like fixed up, go for $100,000? No, you want to find the median sale price in your area. The median sale price in your area is where you want to stick. Like once this property's fixed up, that's where you want to be. It's an easy Google search. It's an easy Google search. Just find out what your median sale price is and you know which areas to target. I get this all the time. I'm going to drive for dollars. Where should I go? I'm going to target specific lists of properties. What should I be targeting? And the answer is the properties that once they're fixed up sell for median sale price and a little bit below. Okay. not the lower, not the bottom, and certainly not luxury. Stay right in the middle. That is the sweet spot. Okay. Now, what kind of ownership type are we looking at? We're looking at properties that are owned by individuals. They have somebody's name on title. These aren't these big LLCs or big trusts or all these other things. Trust can be okay. That's a different conversation when it comes to inherited properties. But for the most part, people that own it individual are going to be the easiest to get a hold of, right? And they're typically not people that own 10, 12, 15 properties at a time and are investors that are really, they understand the market. They understand that they buy properties to hold forever. We just waste our time with those guys because they always want a deal. They'll always be like, yeah, I'll sell my whole portfolio, but they always want above retail. It's ridiculous. Not always. I'm making broad statements here, but most of the time they want above retail or around retail. So we want to go with the individuals that just own a couple houses. That's where we're going to find the best opportunities. And the last one for defining your buy box is length of ownership. 7 years. I want the average is you own a property for 7 years. If you know that the average that a homeowner owns a property is 7 years, it means that they're probably around the time that they're making a decision to sell this property. Okay. And if that's the case, then you're putting your efforts towards the most likely people to sell. So length of ownership, 7 years. Does this make sense, everybody? Is this crazy? Are we good? All right, guys, I'm going to go through these 12 slides. It's going to be a fire hose. I need you to be putting in questions. Matt, I need you to be highlighting the questions. All right. I got you. Thank you. All right. Next. Right here, guys. Woo! Read that bottom sentence. Tattoo it on your brain. Tattoo it on your leg if you want. I don't care. Just so that you remember, we are deal finders, not deal creators. We are deal finders, not deal creators. I want us to all take a big collective deep breath. Doesn't that fit? Doesn't it release stress? Doesn't it release stress that we don't have to have the whiz bang, super duper closing techniques, the super, secret lists that of people that we really have to like work these deals? It never happens. We are deal finders, not deal creators. That does not mean we can't be creative. I'm just saying you're not going to have magic come out of your mouth that's going to convince somebody that didn't want to sell their property to sell their property. You're not going to convince somebody that doesn't want to sell their property to sell their property at a significant discount. There's nothing that you're going to say. There's no way to just make people do it. So it takes all the pressure off. That means that if we spend our time speaking with people that have made the decision that they're going to sell their property, we're doing the right thing. We're in the right place. And this dollar sign that you see on this graphic is where you want to live. What is this? A Venn diagram? Who liked Venn diagrams? Was it Kamala? Love Venn diagrams. Anyway, right here, these three factors: poor property condition, they have equity, and they have motivation. They have a problem that requires speed and convenience. That is where you want to live. That's what we have to do in our discovery of these when we're speaking with the property owner. We need to understand what is going on with this property. For the most part, guys, technology gives us the condition. You can do a Google aerial view of almost every house, a Google front view. Google has machines driving around our neighborhoods every single day, taking pictures of our houses. This is crazy, right? They have satellites in low Earth orbit that are just always taking pictures of the tops of our houses. So when you see a property that looks like a junkyard, you see a property that has an empty pool, you see a Google Street image and the property has no landscaping, or the landscaping's gone bananas if you live in somewhere that actually gets rain and has plants grow, which is totally opposite of Phoenix, Arizona, then you know that the property condition on the outside is a pretty good reflection of the property condition on the inside. Not always. That's why we need to ask, but you have a pretty good idea. So if our efforts are focused on the properties that need the most love, they need the most investment, that's where we get the best deals. And then if they have equity in their property, that means that and equity is made up. Equity is in the eye of a buyer, really. And you can only sell your property for what a ready, willing, and able buyer is willing to pay for it. So buyers determine value, but for the most part, if they don't have big liens on the property, the mortgage has been paid down, they've owned it for a long time, there's going to be significant equity. There's been rapid appreciation in certain areas. There's going to be equity. And then there's a problem situation. Maybe they're a tired landlord. Maybe the property's been vacant. Maybe it's a foreclosure. Maybe they're behind on their property taxes. I did a search here in Maricopa County, Dennis. There is a map I showed you. You can see every property highlighted that is delinquent in property taxes, right? You can then click a button and it shows you what their address is, what the full address, because it usually does it by the assessor parcel number, but you can see how much they actually owe. And then you can look in and see, is this property in good shape? Is it not in good shape? Does it look vacant? I found so many properties that were behind over 3 years of property taxes. And guess what? The only way you go behind 3 years in property taxes, for the most part, is you own it free and clear. Because if you have a mortgage, your taxes get rolled into your mortgage payment. So now you've got a map in most areas that'll show you all the properties that are owned free and clear and owe property taxes. I always like going after the properties that haven't paid their property taxes for at least 2 years. 1 year, you let it slip, right? You own it free and clear, you forget, whatever, you get behind, you pay it, no big deal. 2 years, there's a pattern here. 3 years, there might be a problem. There might be a problem. And oftentimes, guys, the owner has passed away. There's no heirs, and the family doesn't even know that this property would go to them if they went through a probate situation. Those deals, guys, holy cow, massive, massive, massive deals. Okay? But those are the three right there. That dollar sign is where you want to live. Poor property condition, equity, and problem situations. Are you guys feeling this? Is this valuable? Put it in the chat. Guys, all I did is I Googled Maricopa County tax default map in Google. Boom. Pops right up. So I don't know what it is in your area, but go for it. Go for it and start putting that in. Slide number 3 of 12. Boom. There's 3 ways to get deals, guys. There's only 3 ways. Master your method. Master your method. Number 1, the best deals that you will ever do are going to come from referrals. They're going to come from referrals because people know, like, and trust you. And guess what? It costs nothing. It's pure liquid profit, baby. Pure profit. Ooh, take it home to mama. They love that. Or daddy. Who knows? But these are deals that are referred to you by people in your network. Referrals. Guys, I am telling you right now, you need to get into Facebook, get into the community groups, get into the real estate investing groups, get into the realtor groups in your area, and friend request as many people as Facebook will allow you every single day until you have 5,000. And what happens is it's a snowball effect, because then people that are linked to those people friend request you. And then all of a sudden you just accept the friend requests that are coming in. Now you got 5,000 people. And then you go on your stories. You use this thing right here. You use this thing right here. You turn it around and you go, hey guys, I'm Brent. I buy houses cash. Send me your deals. And then you post it to your stories. Or you take a picture of something and you say, I buy houses. Send me your deals. And you do it every single day. You do it every single day with 5,000 people in your network, in your Facebook friends, and you'll do 4 deals. If you do it 365 days a year, you will do 4 deals. Guaranteed. Not a single person that has taken me up in this challenge has not been absolutely floored by the response that they get. But there's 3 steps to that. The first step, get your friend requests up as high as possible. Prune your friends every month because some are just bots and fake. So get rid of the ones that aren't and then get new ones. 2, post every single day I buy houses. 3, this is the toughest one. When people DM you, that stands for direct message for us over 40-year-olds. When they direct message you, you need to respond quickly. You need to get on it immediately because everybody is shocked when you respond quickly. People are so shocked. They send you a message and then they go away from their phone and then they see that you messaged them back fast and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect this until tomorrow or the next day or never. But now you're responding and you're being a real professional. Guys, this is the difference between the people that are the top 10% and the bottom 90%. The top 10% respond quickly. That's it. That simple habit of responding quickly is going to put you in the top 10%. I'm telling you, it's boom, boom, boom. And you post it every single day. But Brent, my friends will know that I don't buy houses. My family will be like, what are you doing? Scamming people? You're just scamming people. You don't buy houses. Yes, you do. Transactional funding. You can get 100% financing on every single property. That is a deal. Not only that, you can connect with people in this group right now that will provide you funding for every single deal that you find. Every single deal. Well, I feel like a phony. I feel I don't buy houses. Can you start? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to wait until you do a few deals before you feel confident enough to post on your own social media? Like if people give you shade, block them. It's like the greatest thing ever. What are we talking about? You got to be brave in this business. You got to be brave. You got to be fast and you got to be loud. You got to be loud. If you're going to build this up, if you're going to be the one sourcing the deals, if you got a big bank and you're ready to just do flips and do rentals, forget everything I'm saying. Stay under the radar. Don't let anybody know you got all that cash and just go buy some properties, live your life. But for everybody else that isn't sitting on 7 figures, everybody else that's trying to get out of their full-time job, everybody else that's in college that doesn't want to go work for somebody else, everybody else that's working somewhere and they're like, I have more potential. I know I do. That's why I'm doing this real estate thing. Follow this instruction and build up your referrals. Okay. Number 2, on-market deals. All right. These are deals that are listed on the MLS by an agent. Now, are you going to find all these deals and negotiate all these deals on the listings that these agents have every single time? No. Do you have to talk to 200, probably make 200 offers to get a deal? Sure. Are you going to build relationships with agents that know that you can do deals and they're going to send you referrals for the rest of your career? Uh-huh. Oh yeah. All of us have agents that send us deals. All of us. And imagine if you had 30 real estate agents in your town that sent you 1 deal a year. It's like $450,000 to $600,000 a year. Profit. Pure liquid profit. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. 30 people, just 30 people that know, like, and trust you that go, here's your deal this year. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So find 30 agents that'll send you referrals. But the only way to do that is make offers on the properties that they have on the market. Okay, well, your seller might not accept this offer, but do you have anything else? Do you have any other sellers that are just tired? They're just ready to go. I'm telling you, it is only a matter of time before you find a deal. A matter of time before you find an unbelievable. They're ready to drop the price $80,000 on a property because they're just done. They're just done. They put it on the market. They tried it. They can't get the price and they got to move. They got to get their cash out of it. They still have some equity. They're ready to go. Happens every single second of every single minute of every single hour of every single day. Seriously. Pure liquid protein, baby. No, I'm saying profit, not protein, but protein as well. Number 3, off-market deals. These are deals you source from other real estate investors called wholesalers, or source yourself by working directly with motivated sellers. Listen, there is a untapped inventory. There's 11 million vacant single-family houses in the United States based on the 2020 census. 11 million. Now, are some of those second homes? Sure. But there are so many opportunities out there. The day that you drive in your neighborhood and you don't find an ugly house is the day that we don't have a business anymore. AI's taken over. We all live in like little weird cells. We're all strapped to the matrix. Like we're all there. There's always going to be inventory. Properties are exposed to the elements. Properties are getting worse by the day. So there's always, it is a conveyor belt of opportunities to go out there and reach out to property owners that don't necessarily have their hand raised. Next. This is something that I think is really important for you to consider. Comfort versus profit. Okay? If you look on the left side of this, comfortability is all the way on the left. That's where it's going to be the most comfortable for you to interact with other people about real estate. On market, no problem. The sellers have already said that they want to sell. This is literally a realtor's job, is to help them sell. And so it's going to be the easiest conversation that you have from a comfortability standpoint, because you can just ask them, is the property still available? And start negotiating. Now the profitability, that's the bottom line, is going to be smaller because it's exposed to everybody. You will see that typically the deals that you get off the MLS are going to be somewhere between $8,000 and $12,000. Okay. The next step up is going after and helping people sell their deals. Other wholesalers sell their deals. This is called a disposition model. This has been perfected by Keegley. This has been perfected by Jamil Damji. He learned this method 15 years ago, working with an incredible guy, Chris, here locally. That's where he really learned it and then really perfected it and really took it to the next level. You can get other wholesalers that are finding great deals, but they don't have investors that they trust, and you can connect with them and you can make a good amount, right? You're going to make more there than on market typically. And it's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable. All right. But if you want to be bold and get the most out of your deals, it's direct to seller off market. It's direct to seller off market. So you have to understand, what is your personality? Is your personality, hey, listen, I'll talk to agents all day long. That's not exhausting. I'll go and build these relationships and talk to agents and make offers on properties of people that already want to sell their property. Great. It's good. You want to help other people sell their deals. Great. Do that model. Follow that path. Or do you want to just go out there and find all the opportunities, all the off-market opportunities out there? You just have to decide comfort versus profit. You're going to do smaller deals the more comfortable you are. The more uncomfortable you are, the bigger deals you do. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes. Good. Next, you got to assemble your team. Guys, you have to consider yourself a corporation. You have to consider yourself an actual business. Even though you might not have filed your LLC, you haven't done all these other things, doesn't matter. But you have to think in that way, and you have to build your personal board of directors. You got to assemble your team. All right. And the best way to find your team is to get referrals from other local real estate investors. All right. And these ones are critical. Number one, make or break is going to be your escrow officer or closing attorney, depending on what state you're in. This is make or break. They will do a tremendous amount of heavy lifting, or they will sabotage your deals. They will 100%. All right. And so you have to find somebody that's experienced. You have to find somebody that really loves working with investors. You got to find somebody that can help you with some paperwork sometimes. Right? You gotta have somebody that's a closing attorney or escrow officer that works for all the best buyers in town and can connect you guys at a dinner that they hold for title companies. That's how powerful that position is. This is really, really, really important to have a really strong escrow officer. All right. Next is your hard money and or transactional lender. Guys, you can Google it. You can Google hard money lender Phoenix, hard money lender Atlanta, hard money lender Portland, hard money lender Dallas, hard money lender Orlando, and start making those connections and start seeing what are the terms that people are offering for their hard money and transactional lending. They're your bank. They're ready for you. They want to work for you. Don't be intimidated. I was intimidated when I was younger. I always thought hard money lenders were like these Italian guys with like briefcases, like bookies or something. You know what I mean? Like you like get into gambling debts or something crazy with these guys. You know, they'll come break your legs or whatever. It's not. It's definitely not that. It's just a bunch of analytical people that lend money and they love doing it. So go and build those relationships. All right. And the third one is find somebody local that is doing what you want to do on a high level. Find somebody that will connect with you. Somebody that'll take you under their wing. At least they'll invite you to their local meetups once a month and you can connect there. You know what I mean? Because they can help introduce you to the best people. They can also help comp your deals. Comp your deals. Is this a deal or not a deal? That's the hardest part. Is this a deal or not a deal? Right? And so when we're getting started out, having somebody like make sure that you're spending your time wisely is really important. Next. We talked about this. We talked about your referrals. We talked about posting on social media. We talked about joining we haven't talked about this. Join your local real estate investors association and get active. Okay. Start connecting with the people that are on a high level. There are so many old people that have like multi-million-dollar portfolios. You would never know. They wear polos that they bought 25 years ago. They've got like loafers with no socks on from like 1997, right? They've got short shorts tucked in, braided belt, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And they're just hanging around in these RIAs because they love real estate and they would love to take you under their wing. They'd love to help you out. They would. So just be brave. Go to those. I mean, they might be a little rough around the edges, but they'll loosen up. All right. And then again, reach out to all the local agents and let them know that you buy houses. Okay. Now let's talk about going direct to seller. Going direct to seller. Jeffrey Long, is that what you're wearing? That's nice, dude. I love it. I'll get to all these questions. The three things you have to factor in when you're deciding how you're going to go find your deals if you're going direct to seller. Okay. Freedom of schedule, cost, and profit margin. All right. Now, do you have freedom of schedule if you're cold calling and door knocking? You better believe it. Why? Because you are reaching out to them. You're initiating the conversation on your schedule. All right. Is the cost low or high? Super low. There's no low. I mean, this is what I did when I owed like $1 million on a judgment. I had no money and I had to go door knock until I found some opportunities. Cost me nothing. Cost nothing. And the profit margins are really, really, really high if you're cold calling or knocking on doors. All right. Now you look at direct mail. All right. Well, direct mail sounds pretty good. I send some mail. People give me calls. That's a step up. I like when people reach out to me. That way I'm not on my back foot and I know that they want to sell and they're the ones calling me. So I can ask them all sorts of questions and they're more open. Do you have freedom of schedule? No way. No way do you have freedoms. If you don't answer those calls live, you're done. If you don't answer calls from your marketing live, you are toasted. They will call somebody else. They'll call somebody else instantly. Even if they'll have a stack. I went into this house one time. I went into this house and it was in Chandler, Arizona. And this guy had an entertainment center and it had drawers. And the drawers were completely filled with 10 years worth of direct mail from investors. All sort, every kind of direct mail you can imagine. And he was literally just snagging it, making some calls, just grabbed a handful. Luckily we were in that handful, just making calls. They'll just call and call and call. They'll get several bids, the whole thing. If you don't answer the phone, nobody answers the phone. You know what people do? They have a answering service. They have an answering service, which builds no rapport. It doesn't help you do any discovery. And then you have to get back on the phone with these people, which is almost impossible. Answer the phone live and do your discovery. It's going to cost you more. It's obviously going to cost you more than knocking doors and making cold calls, right? Because it's anywhere from probably 50 cents to $1 a mailer. And the response rate is going to be anywhere from 0.1% to 1%, depending on the area. If you're in a major market, it's like 1/3% response. So you send out 1,000, you'll get 3 calls. That's the stats. So you spend $1,000. Each one of those calls is $333.33 to infinity. Right. And so it's going to, the budget needs to be a little bit higher. And that means that the profit margin is medium. And then web leads, which is what I specialize in. My guys don't have freedom of schedule. They're pumped because any conversation could be a huge opportunity, but they're on it in 30 seconds. As soon as somebody fills in a web form, we respond in 30 seconds up until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. Monday through Sunday. Every day. Every day. I've got a weekend and evening guy. I've got a Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 guy. That's how serious it is. You miss that. Holy cow. I mean, those leads are, again, $300 each, right? So it's a high cost and median profit margin because of that. The best profit margins you're going to get are going to be from referrals and from being proactive. But it's hard to scale it. That's the problem. But when you're getting started, decide what you want to do. So each marketing channel works if you focus on it. Pick whichever one you can be the most consistent with based on your situation. I said that sentence weird. Pick whichever one you can be most consistent with based on your situation. Whose time do you want to work on? Yours or somebody else's? How big is your marketing budget? Big or small? What are your sales and negotiation skills, new or experienced? Guys, if you aren't used to negotiating, if you're not used to sales, if you're not, which is just like asking really good questions and listening to the answers, then start out being proactive. Start out calling the agents. Start out calling, calling people that that you can have good conversations with on your schedule. right? You can warm up. You can build the skills over time without throwing a big budget at it. And then you've got all these leads coming in and you fumble the bag, as the kids call it. Don't do that. Don't spend a bunch on your marketing unless you know you can do a great discovery process. All right. Next. What lists should you go after? Motivated seller lists are the foundation of any prospecting, of any cold calling, door knocking, or direct mail campaign. Anybody that you're going to be reaching out to and going after, there are two ways to get motivated seller list. One, drive for dollars. Literally just leave your house and go find the ugliest houses you can. Ugliest houses you can. And number two is you can pull from a list company. And there's so many incredible list companies, guys. US Lead List is phenomenal for pre-probates. One of the best. US Lead List, they're sold out in most areas, but it's phenomenal. The Deal Machine, phenomenal. Batch Leads, phenomenal. Property Radar, phenomenal. Nichelist.ai is foreclosures. That's a new one. Phenomenal, right? It's not hard to find really solid lists. Going into your tax assessor or the treasury in your area and finding everybody that's behind on their property taxes is a phenomenal list. And the faster you can get that list and the more hurdles that list has, the better. We were talking about it, Dennis. The more that you have to do research, the more that they don't have numbers for it. Woo! Those are the best. Those are absolutely incredible. Those are big deals. And then I'll tell you what, I'm really, really impressed by Skip Genie. Skip Genie. Skip Genie is an incredible tool for skip tracing the property owners, getting their relatives, finding out if their numbers are disconnected or active, finding out what the caller ID is on those numbers to make sure you're calling the right person. And it tells you whether or not the homeowner is deceased. Skip Genie. Skip Genie. There you go. There's some tools for you. Building rapport. What do you do once you reach out to these people? People are more likely to do business with people that they have good rapport with, right? They like and trust you. Here's some great ways to build rapport quickly, both over the phone and in person. Mirror and match the speed and volume of their voice. People like communicating with people that communicate like them. I'm not going to call up and be bombastic and blow people out of the water with, somebody that's, slow speaking, quiet. They'll hang up on me in an instant. You got to be able to adjust the way that you speak with people. Next, you have to actively listen. Don't just ask people questions and then just be silent. It's creepy. Sure. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been there. Oh, new roof. Nice. Yeah. Oh, your brother's a contractor. Fantastic. Perfect. Oh, you don't like your brother. Okay, great. You know what I mean? Like, you need to actively listen and respond, not interrupt. There's a fine line. There's a real skill. But people that people feel real comfortable with, they know that they're listening to them because they are responding. They're actively listening. All right. Next, don't add friction to the conversation. Don't add friction. Confirm and approve everything that they say. Right? They want $1 million with us? Great. They want to tell you all about everything? Great. They're crazy people? Great. Confirm and approve and move on. Ask more questions. But the last thing you want to do is go, no, you're wrong about that. Let's be honest. It's going to take more than $20,000 to fix up your terrible fire damaged house. Right? Even though it might be the truth. Don't add friction. And the last one, guys, when they ask you a question, this sounds crazy, answer the question. Right? There's this technique that goes, well, if they ask you a question, get control back by asking them a question. How long have you been in business? Are you looking for somebody that's been in business a long time? Right? What kind of property? How many properties did you buy this month? Are you talking about this month in March or last month in February? You know what I mean? It's obnoxious. People are over that whole technique. That used to work. It doesn't anymore. Answer the question. I just got started. I'm really excited to buy in this neighborhood. It sounds like you might be interested in selling your property. Have you thought about what you would want, how much you would want for your house? Answer the question, ask a question. I'm just getting started in this business. Are you looking for somebody that's been doing it a long time, buys a lot of houses? Answer the question, ask a question. Got it? We're cruising. Next, pre-qualifying. Guys, every conversation you have with a property owner, you got to pre-qualify. You got to understand, are you wasting their time? Not your time. Screw your time. You're doing this anyway. Doesn't matter. Right? Are you wasting their time? Right? Every conversation you have should revolve around the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying. Condition of the property, timeline to sell, motivation to sell, and the price. Those 4 things. I don't know what to say to these property owners. Great. Ask questions about those 4 things. And the more you find out, the better the deal. And then you don't waste time. You don't wait. I can't tell you guys how many times that I ran out to properties because I was so excited. Somebody was nice to me. Somebody, they didn't reject me. They didn't get mad at me. They wanted me to come see their property. I'm going to run right out there. And they didn't pre-qualify. And they don't want to sell their house. They just are lonely. Or they just want to show me all about their good stuff that they have. Or they're just curious as for me to give them like an appraisal on their property. And it's a total waste of time. But we go, oh, I'm doing it for the experience. I'm going to go out there for the experience. Yeah, but if you practice the wrong things, you don't get better. Right? Like, you can shoot a free throw backwards and through your legs as many times as possible. It doesn't mean that's the best technique. You know what I mean? Like, don't practice wrong. Practice pre-qualifying. Don't just convince yourself, I'm going to just go out and get in front of the property owner. Your time is better used finding somebody that will actually do business with you. And it took me a long time to figure that out because I was excited. I thought that experience was just going out and touring people's houses and sitting down with them and seeing what's going on. But if they never want to sell their house, they're actually slowing down your business. Big time. So make sure that you're pre-qualifying them every single time. Right? Would you consider an offer on your property? Great question. With your permission, I have a few questions to ask you so I can put together the best possible offer for you. Is that okay? Right? Would you consider an offer on your property? Yes. Okay, great. Is it cool if I just ask you a few questions? That way I can put together the best offer for you. Is that okay? Yeah, great. Boom. Now, what remodeling have you done to the kitchen and bathroom in the last 5 years? Okay, great. You know, and then you're off and running. How long have you owned it? If you move this house, where would you go to next? When would that be? Amazing. Oh, it's a rental property for you. Is it month to month or is it a long-term lease? Oh, month to month. Do you think your tenants would be comfortable moving out if they got a 30-day notice? No? What do you think would be appropriate? And then you're hitting them with the open-ended questions. Who, what, when, why, and how. And then you hit them with the if-then. If I could get all of these things that you're worried about taken care of, then are you ready to move forward? Boom. We're cooking today, guys. We are cooking. This is the last one I have, slide 12. And then I'll open it up to questions, guys. Make sure you're putting some questions in here. Do not let this just go by without getting your questions answered So far, I have 9 starred questions. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Thank you guys for joining me today, by the way. I know a lot of people are at the Squad Up Summit. A lot of people are just leaving the Squad Up Summit. So thank you for being on here and sharpening the skills. All right. Now, making offers direct to seller deals. Get advanced agreement before making an offer or going on an appointment. What does that mean? Anton, if when I come out on the appointment this afternoon at 1:00 and we're good on the price, we're good on the terms, is there anything stopping us from moving forward and approving the agreement and getting it in writing? I don't think so. Or there is, right? And if they say yes, then you have an objection and you're walking into the appointment understanding the objection. Is there anybody else that needs to help you make this decision? Just you, right? And if so, can they be there as well? Are you communicating with them? Do they know what's going on with this? All of these things. Basically, like when I come out, if what I say makes sense and you agree to the price and terms, is there anything stopping us from moving forward? Well, I get this one all the time. Yes. I don't make any decisions unless I pray on it first. Common one. I don't make any decisions without sleeping on it. You make no decision. I don't say that on the phone, but you go there and you discover, oh wait, they make a lot of decisions without praying on it, without taking the night to consider it. All those things, right? Go ahead, Dennis. What do you got?
If there is a wife that's on the deed, doesn't she need to be there?
Yes, if there's a spouse on the deed, they need to be there. Yep. Yeah, you need to make sure that all the decision makers are there. Do you have an attorney that we have to run this by? Do you have a real estate agent that needs to review all these things? Do you have any of these things? Like, who's the decision makers? We've gone through, what the expectations are and when you want this property sold. We have an expectation on price. We have an expectation on the way that you want this handled, whether it is, I don't want any inspection periods, or I want $5,000 earnest deposit, or I want, to be able to back out in 72 hours, any of these things, right? Then going into it, advanced agreements are incredibly powerful. If you're just like, no, I'm going to go on the appointment, bippity boppity boo. Oh, you're not getting that contract signed. You're not getting the agreement approved, right? So make sure you get advanced agreements. Next, show up on time, introduce yourself, ask them to sit down and talk wherever the seller is most comfortable. In-person appointments are better than over the phone. They are. There's no doubt about it. Now, can you do this all over the phone? 100%. Do people make millions? Absolutely. It's just different skills. You can do it over the phone. No doubt about it. But getting in person, especially if there's multiple offers, is going to give you a big advantage. Okay? A big advantage. And so we go through, we do this process before we do the whole, goat path through the house. You know what I mean? Like the tour. We don't do the tour. We sit down. We go over everything that we talked about. We get to know each other a little bit. And we ask this question, number 3, and is the most underrated question in real estate history. What's your goal with the property? Pre-qualify them again as you're sitting down somewhere comfortable with them. What's your goal with the property? And then they just tell you again. And you see if anything changes. And you see if what you're offering, what you're there, the solution that you have actually gets them from Hell Island to Heaven Island. It's the right bridge for them to go. Because sometimes, guys, the right bridge is listing with a real estate agent. Sometimes the right bridge is them just putting 10, 15K into the property and putting it and re-renting it. Sometimes the best option is for them to take a higher offer from your competitor. Sometimes. But we got to understand what their goal is so that we know what is the proper bridge for them to go from their current state to their desired state, from Hell Island to Heaven Island. All right. Now, number 4, the seller accepting your offer comes down to 3 main factors: the price, the terms, and you. That's it. Price, terms, you. Do they trust you to get the job done? Do they agree with the price that you're offering? Do they agree that they're going to get the money in the time that is outlined in the purchase agreement? That's it. Price, terms, and you. It's the only 3 factors. Okay? Next, walk them through the purchase agreement. Guys, walk them through the purchase agreement. Like, let them understand what they're signing. Because if they don't, they can say that you made up things or that you were frauding them or they didn't understand what was happening. And I highly recommend, if you can, Arizona is a one-party state, which means you can record any conversation. But if you need their permission, just be like, I'm going to just make sure that this is recorded. This is to make sure that everything that was said, we're really in alignment here and that we really understand everything. All right. I'm going to just record our conversation and I'll keep it. I'll send you a copy of the recording. Okay. Record it. Protect yourself for sure. All right. And then I like signing it first and then handing it to them. I'll sign here. Boom. We good here. We got through here. We did this. Bop-a-dee-boo. I sign here. You sign. Sit next to him, not across from him. Sit next to him, not across from him. And some of them will be like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to butter me up. I'm going to sit across from you while we negotiate. You got me. You got me. I just want to be, listen, I think that we should have synergy in this, and this should be a win-win for both of us. But if you feel like, you don't trust me yet, I totally understand. Then all of a sudden they start scooting closer because you go through things and you explain things and they feel comfortable. And then you earn their trust, which should happen. All right. Next, set expectations for what's going to happen next with the buyer walkthrough or inspections, depending on what's happening and how often you're going to be communicating with them. I'm going to be calling you every day. We are going to be best friends for the next 30 days. You're going to be talking to Erin, my transaction coordinator, and she is the greatest person on our team. She's going to take care of you on anything that you need. She's going to be your point of contact, and she's phenomenal. She's going to reach out to you. She's going to be in constant communication with you. If you have any questions, make sure that you just reach out to Erin. They love it. Set the expectations, because the worst thing that happens, and the number one complaint in real estate, whether it's from a buyer or a real estate agent or a seller, is lack of communication. Seriously. That is the number one complaint about real estate. Lack of communication. It is nerve-wracking to sell a house. It is nerve-wracking. Your whole life's topsy-turvy. Everything's going crazy. Whether it's a vacant house or not a vacant house, things could back out anytime. People could try to renegotiate with you anytime. You've got all of this paperwork that you have to fill out for the title company. You have to give them like a blood sample and a hair sample, and you have to tell them the last 15 meals that you ate. You got to go through all these hoops. You got to go through all these things. It's frustrating. It's a long process. So having somebody friendly there that's going to help you and make it seem like you're not a crazy person and you know that this is stressful helps. That's how you get good reviews. All right. Number 7. Now we walk through the house and we take a lot of pictures and videos. Guys, minimum 60 pictures. Let me say that again. Minimum 60 pictures. Put your phone on 0.5. I don't know how to do that. You'll figure it out. There's a Google video. There's a YouTube video on it. There's a little button on your iPhone. And if you don't have it, there's something else. If you don't have if you're not an iPhone user, put it on 0.5 so that you can actually get now don't get crazy with it. Don't put a fish lens on it and make it look like, the palace of the Sultan of Brunei. But take pictures. Take it from your chest. Take it landscape. Take it regular. And get videos of everything. And take pictures of everything that needs to be done to the property. It helps people make decisions faster. But if you have 5 pictures and they're all terrible, take it on your BlackBerry phone from 2007, you're shooting yourself in the foot. All right. Next, leave an open escrow immediately. What we do, we scan the purchase agreement. You can do it with just your iPhone, or I like Turbo Scan. It's an app. You scan it, you email it instantly to escrow, you email it instantly to the property owner. They get a copy. They get a copy right away. And then get out of there. You're going to screw it up. You're going to be, oh, yeah. I'm so excited and happy. And you're going to be all like a bobblehead in there after they sign this purchase agreement. And they're going to be like, this is getting weird. Be a professional and get out of there. You know what I mean? Like in football, I remember my coach say, listen, when you score a touchdown, give the ball back to the ref like you've actually been there before. The people that do all the craziness and the whatever, until you get to the pros, obviously, that's just because you get paid more for the fun. But the people that go all bananas and do all that stuff in junior high and high school, it's because they never score. Give the ball back, get out of there. That's it. Send them the purchase agreement and get it. The only thing you could do is screw it up. Oh, this is going to be such a great transaction working with me and my company. And do you want to go to dinner? Do you want to go out and celebrate? Get out of the house. You're going to be goofy. You're just going to be goofy. The first few deals, you're going to be the synapses in your brain are going to be firing all the place. Your stomach's going to get all watery. You're going to start getting like watery eyes, and you're going to just get out of the house. Just get out of there. Just get out of there. All right. Because you'll only screw it up. I think I beat that up, but that's it. And that's how you handle those, right? That's how you handle going direct to seller. How we doing, guys? Can we get some thumbs up? Can we get some rhinos in the chat? Little Rhino Tribe. Guys, this is something we really pound this discovery and really building the skills in our Rhino Tribe, wholesalinginc.com. You can check it out. And it's just a phenomenal group. We do a lot of training, a lot of support calls, all those things. This isn't an ad, just giving you an invitation that it's a phenomenal group. A lot of them are in here and are really well trained. And really are taking massive imperfect action every single day and getting really good deals. But I'm telling you, I think the future, guys, when it comes to being proactive, is going to be quality over quantity. I think with the apps and the carriers and just the overall, if you are on the right or you are on the left or you are in the middle or you're a libertarian, everybody hates cold calls. Everybody can agree on that, and that's fine, right? So it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter. I think that the focus should be doing bigger deals that take a lot of unwinding to find the right property owner and solve the really big problems. And that's going to be good. That's going to be where you can really pinpoint very specific properties that you want to go after that maybe they are behind in their taxes a ton. You know, if you're behind on taxes and you're in a tax lien state and you go 3 years, they can foreclose. You could start the foreclosure process. Do you know what the catch is? To start a foreclosure process, if you buy a tax lien, you have to do everything you can to get a hold of somebody that owns that property. What happens if they passed away? Sits in limbo. The courts won't do it. Interesting. So these properties sit for a while. So maybe you use some tools. Maybe use some tools that finds the next of kin, the family members, and start working. Start working these niche lists. Find that ugly house. You door knock it, you mail it, you try to call it. All the numbers are wrong. Dig deeper. Somebody's around. You got to dig deeper. We work in the Rhino Tribe. We've got private investigators, $75, $100. They'll get you everything you need to know about it. Anything. It's crazy. But for the most part, $58, you get 100 skips, 100 addresses. You could skip a Skip Genie, and it is robust. I don't know who owns it. I should probably find out, but it is a robust tool. I was playing around with it for the first time today. I was shocked. They let you know if the number's disconnected. That saves so much time. Yep. Get the airs, Daniel W. All right. Let's get to some questions, guys. I love you guys. I want you guys protected. I want you guys out there confident. I want you out there finding really great deals, solving really big problems for people that just don't know how to solve it themselves. Don't even know about it. Can you imagine being that call? It's like a movie. That call, you call like a relative that didn't know that their uncle passed or somebody in their line passed. And you're like, you got a property here. You know what I mean? And I want to buy it. What do you say? You know what I mean? It's like, what? It's like a movie scene. All right, let's get to it. KB, how can you determine what price to get the property under a contract that can interest a buyer? I love this. Really great question, KB. This is going to be determined by the amount of inventory in that area. Okay, the amount of inventory. If it's above, I would say now, because it's kind of getting into a really boring market. We're in a really boring market. 4.6 million sales in a year last year, as opposed to 6.5, 7 million a couple years ago. It's just boring, right? And so because it's boring, people with those low interest rates are kind of hanging out. And some properties are hitting the market. But if you're at 4 months of inventory, 4 months, find out what the fixed up value is. Find out what you could take Zillow estimate, Redfin estimate, Realtor.com estimate, smush them together, add them all together, divide by 3, get an average. You'll be pretty close. It won't be perfect. But if you go 70 to 75% minus repairs in that would be probably $35 a square foot. If it's cosmetic, add 10,000 for any other big time ticket items, right? A roof, pool resurfacing, foundation, mold in the basement, a boiler, air conditioner, whatever it is, add 10, maybe 15 to it, but $35 to $40 a square foot. So it's a 2,000 square foot house, 70 to 80,000 for cosmetic. It needs a new roof. Now you're at 80 to 90,000, and it needs a new air conditioner. Now you're at 90 to 100,000 for that deal, right? So 70% minus 100,000 is what a buyer is going to buy it for. And then you got to be under that. I would do it on my whiteboard, but Matt's the only one here to run these cameras, and he's locked away in his dungeon because he's sick. Freaking Matt. Anyway, join me Wednesdays, guys. I really break this down on the YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go over there. And because this is, by the way, this zooms out to Jerry Norton's channel, Jamil Damji's, Pace Morby's, myself, and the I think we have a Wholesale Hotline channel. So it goes to all of them. If you're not subscribed to each one of us, and you just vibe with any one of us, go to our YouTube channel. We have unlimited amount of videos and training. All right. Nonsense. Anyway, 19, about to turn 20 here, learning more about wholesaling flipping. Should we have enough cash saved to pay for your contract if you can't find a buyer, or would you just cancel the contract? Yeah, always go into it with the mind of I'm buying this. Always, especially at 1920, find transactional funding. Somebody asked a question of it. Maybe I'm skipping ahead. Transactional funding will give you 100%. If one, you've got a buyer that you're already selling it to, and two, if it's a smoking hot deal, they'll give you 100% financing. Okay. And so You can buy these properties. You can be the buyer, or just disclose to the property owner. I don't have the cash for this, but I have a collection of friends. I have a network of people that I'm going to put this in front of, and I'm going to see if they want to buy this deal from me. Disclose either way, right? And then if it's a good deal, it sells instantly. You don't have to convince people to buy great deals. All right. Tracy, what happens if the tax owed or code violation exceeds the value or make it where is not enough money to make a good deal? Now we are talking, Tracy. Taxes, nothing there. Taxes are taxes. Taxes are, no nonsense. That's what that was. Thank you, Rodolfo. Yeah, taxes are always going to get paid. Guys, the whole economy is land rent. We're all based off of land rent. We don't own any of this. The government owns all of it. The states own it. Federal government owns it. We don't own any land. You don't own your house. It's not going to be this heirloom that passes on forever and ever. You're just passing through. You're just renting space for the time being. I know that you love your place, and this is going to be a legacy property until somebody sells it in your family. And if you don't pay property taxes, it's the government's. They'll take it. Or whoever buys that lien will take it. But if that stacks up really high, you're not going to be able to negotiate that. But the code I'll give you an example. Rodolfo, who might be on here, is in Florida. And he's in a market in Florida where they will charge you hundreds of dollars a day if you don't clean up your yard. A day. And he works with people that haven't cleaned up their yard for a decade. So they owe $800,000 in code violations. And guess what? Rodolfo gives them like $2,000. They settle for nothing. They don't care. They just want the property fixed up, right? They just want to encourage people to not have their properties. So they have these big type judgments and liens on these properties that they settle for almost nothing. Talk about big, massive deals. Big, massive deals, right? Yeah, it's phenomenal if you're in those markets. Any of those liens. What if it's a mechanic's lien? What if it's some sort of judgment? Guys, I had a judgment on me for the office lease that I signed when I was 27. I signed a 10-year office lease for 9,000 square feet at Scottsdale Air Park. I think the rent at the time was like $15,000 a month or something bananas for 10 years with a personal guarantee. They slapped the judgment on me. It was $742,000 with interest. Every 5 years they have to renew judgments or they fall off. Renewed it the day before. It would have fallen off for $1 million something. And I think I settled with them for like $65,000. We started at $1,200. We started the negotiations at $1,200. So judgments, unless it's IRS, you know what I mean? Unless it's something that's federally backed, negotiate it. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Nobody's going to give them the full amount, right? And now they've got a property that's going to be a blight on the neighborhood because they won't negotiate a lien that is just made up charges, HOA liens, ton of liens. There's a ton of different judgments and liens that you can negotiate. They're called involuntary liens. Maybe you should pull a list of those. Maybe you should skip genie it or batch skip trace it or deal machine it or prop stream it. Probably not prop stream data, actually. And call them up and see if you can help these people out. Sometimes they're like, hey, give me $5,000. I'll deed you the property. You go negotiate it. Good luck. Happens all the time. All right. I answered that one. Sam. No, I answered that one. Transactional funding. Here we go. Jay, would you recommend a local investor who offers a mentorship? I don't know. Listen, Jay, what I will tell you is this. you got to feel good in your gut about the mentorship. You have to have, in my opinion, you have to have access to the mentor. You have to have access to their team. You got to have really good people surrounding you, and you have to really connect with the community that's there. So there's some local guys, but I think that they just do it like here in Arizona. Like I've tried to do it when I was younger coming up, and it was like, give me $10,000 and I'll look at the deals that you bring me, right? Type of thing. And it just felt like they just weren't good teachers. I think you have to have somebody that's just a natural teacher, because it doesn't matter. This is my opinion. I don't care how much money you've made. What I care about is how much money have your students made. You know what I mean? Like, how successful are your students? That's kind of the way that I filter it. That's why I went with Tom Kroll. Tom Kroll had been in the business like a year, like a couple years, maybe. I mean, he'd done some good deals, but I knew people that did way more than Tom. But Tom just simplified it. You know what I mean? And then my business tripled and quadrupled, and then just went, 10x, and it's been great ever since. So I think you go for people that are real, that really love teaching. They're just natural teachers, and they're successful. You don't want somebody that's just in theory. You want somebody that's actually successful. But some of the most successful people are awful teachers, and it's a money grab. And they say things like, "Well, I started coaching because so many people were like, 'Hey, can I pick your brain?' And I was like, 'Well, I better get paid for this.'" That's the wrong energy, in my opinion. All right. Boom. John Johnson in the house. Love you, man. Thank you for all that you do. Any thoughts on how to combat leads that have bad title or sellers ghosting? Have I just hit an unlucky path? Yeah, dude, I am telling you, John, I hope you're still on here. There is so many scams going on right now. There's so many freaking scams of people taking people's identity. Just happened to us. Literally just happened to us. A group out of Nigeria, and had fake IDs, had fake paperwork, had the names down, had the information about the property, had looked through all of the rental records, knew everything about the rental records, knew everything. They could answer anything about these properties, had it down. It was like a $25K deal. And the title company caught it. They're just like, nah, this is crazy. So there is some of that going on, John Johnson. So be very careful and have really good title companies. All right. One of our deals was just on World Star. The gal that somebody was squatting in her house, looked just like her, had fake IDs. They caught him, went to jail. The detectives came in during my live show on Wednesday. I'm like, what is going on? My whole team's up looking around. And because we just told them who these people were, and they caught him because they were like, hey, the wire hasn't hit. The wire hasn't hit. The title, they found some way to catch them. But yeah, they literally, the gal didn't want to sell her house, didn't even know it was like a vacant rental property for her. And somebody went into the property, squatted. The neighbor was one of their friends, came over. Was like, yeah, they live here forever. To our acquisition manager. Fake IDs, fake everything. Insane. Absolutely insane. Obviously, they caught it. Obviously, title got the property back, title to the owner. It was wild. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, listen, remember this, John Johnson, and everybody, 70% of your income comes in 6 months, 6 months out of the year. In a 12-month period, 70% of your income will be in 6 months. That means 30% is in the other 6 months. Keep dry powder. Understand there are cycles, and it doesn't follow a pattern. It's crazy. It's not like an air conditioning business in Phoenix where everything gets super hot and now they're like super season during the summer months. It's not like that. It's all over the place for some reason. I mean, there's some times that are faster and slower than others, but not by big. There's nothing that you can really track. But yeah, I mean, listen, if you're dealing with some sellers ghosting you, then you haven't dug in. You haven't really, really, really built that trust and rapport. And sometimes they just they got other things going on. Like real estate's our whole life. It's like the last thing they think about. So just reach out to them and pull away. Hey, wait, are you wanting to cancel this deal? Like, just let me know. We can talk about it. You know what I mean? Pull away. Don't chase them, right? Like a new puppy. You don't chase the puppy. They'll just keep running. You walk away and they follow you. All right. Love you, John Johnson. He's very tall, very handsome. Watch out, ladies. Well, no, he's got a lady in Colombia, I think. I think he lives in Colombia. Maybe Brazil. Brasilia. Kathina, I've been calling a lot of PPL, and most have said they've received so many calls. One guy told me he's getting 50 calls a day. Wow. Let your PPL company know. Let me know who that is, because they're obviously selling their leads too much. All right. Now, if you're buying the like discount leads at the end of the month by some of the PPL companies, you're just gonna have to deal with it. But if it's for the most part, you want to be with a PPL company that'll just sell the lead to you. I mean, depending on your budget, but figure $100 to $300 a lead. All right. Fire logistics. Brent, what do I do with properties I find that the owners are deceased? Probate. Learn probate. And learn probate enough to talk about probate. Don't fill out the forms for probate. Have an attorney do that. There's a lot of attorneys that'll get paid through the sale of the property. So they'll go and do everything. Or, you know, they take a smaller deposit just to make sure that it goes through. But have the probate attorneys go and take care of that. And there's some great ones. But that's what you don't want to navigate those. Some people do, and I get it, but I think that there could be a conflict of interest there. And so you just, you know, if you can get an attorney to walk through that process, that's the best. That's what we do. Connor, what would you say to someone that is more introverted to help get out of their shell, to help them start working this business? I love it, Connor. I mean, listen, I think people put labels on themselves. I mean, I think that some people are just naturally shy unless they're around people that they're comfortable with. But then if they come out of their shell, so to speak, with people that they're comfortable with, why can't they just get more comfortable with strangers faster? Can't you build that skill? Or is that a self-limiting type of thing? You know what I mean? Where you're like, well, I don't, I'm a little bit, I don't want to do this. But I would say this, if you're more introverted, what I would do, Connor, is some of the most introverted millionaires I know are flippers. Seriously. That's why they would never go and find their own deals. Never find their own deals because they don't feel like they're good at communicating. They just want the deal. They're more creative in making sure that they're running crews and hiring the right people and are more analytical in nature. So maybe it's just one of those things, Connor, where, you find some good opportunities and you raise funds to do flips, and maybe you don't source it. Maybe you talk more with real estate agents. Maybe you buy deals from wholesalers. Or maybe you just remove the label and see what happens with that. I've seen it work either way. I know I'm giving you a lot of options here, but I don't think that there's just one solid answer that can, cover everybody, So I would say, maybe flipping's better. Maybe making offers to agents is better. But, I'm just telling you, the people that go out there and are the loudest and have the most conviction about this business do the most deals. Unless they raise funds and do flips. Raise funds, do flips. I've got a couple guys that are just like, I got to do everything I can to get 3 words out of them. You know what I mean? And they make millions. So you could do it both ways. Declaration home buyers. Is it okay to go on an appointment if you have everything except the price? Sure. Yeah. But I like throwing it out, Hey, before I come out, I was just doing some research, and it looks like your neighbor who sold their house in the last few months, similar size, it sounds like similar condition to yours, sold for this amount, 150,000. Is that kind of what you were thinking for yours? Are you crazy? I wouldn't sell it for anything less than 500,000 or something ridiculous, whatever it is, right? At least you're pulling out the price. And you could be honest with them. Look at a comp around. You'll find a comp within a mile that sold for something ridiculous. They just sold similar condition, similar size for this amount, right? So that's how you pull it out. That's how you make an offer without making an offer. That's how you just try to see if you're in the same area, and then go on that appointment. Price is the last thing. Price is, people are realistic when they come down to it. Sometimes. Tony Mensch, Denver Realtor. We talk a lot about max allowable offer. What about best terms to offer both on and off market sellers? Yeah, I mean, I think the best terms, it depends on if they want speed and convenience, Tony. This is the problem that I had. I was an agent for a really long time, and I would sit down with these property owners that had really rough properties. And in the beginning, I said, listen, if you do these repairs to your house, because at the time when I was really getting into this, Tony, and maybe you have the same experience, it's like 14, 15. And now I feel like it's the same, where the appraisers are almost like inspectors themselves. They'll shut down a deal if everything isn't like in really good shape. Not just FHA and VA, right? But like even some conventional loans, they would throw shenanigans about, chipping paint if the house was built before 1978, or rotting wood or whatever else. So I would go and I would say, hey, listen, hey, if you put this amount of money into your property, you could sell it for this amount. If you don't want to do anything, my cash as is offer is over here. It's like $60,000, $70,000 less than this. You can make $50,000 more if you just take care of these things. Tony, every time they picked the second plan because they wanted speed and convenience. They wanted speed and convenience. And so when you put more cash down on a property, it's higher risk. When there's higher risk, the reward has to be higher. That's the only reason that you would do that. That's the only way you would stay in this business for a long term. So when it comes to terms, close in a week, close in 2 weeks, $10,000 non-refundable earnest. Fine. What do you want? Work with your title company? We'll figure that out. Sure. You know what I mean? There's nuance to it. Typically it's when are we getting it? When do they get their money? When is it going to be done? Right? Close of escrow. How much earnest are you putting down? How long is the inspection period? Who's the title company or closing attorney? Those are the main things that you're really negotiating. And obviously the price. All right. I got one more. Glenn, Brent, have you heard from the buyers if they are adjusting their rehab budgets higher when the tariffs kick in? No, I have not heard that. Interesting. It's supposed to be tomorrow, right? April 1st? Or no, it's April 2nd because of, what is that day? April Fools, right? No, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if lumber goes crazy. We'll see if, all the prices of everything go crazy. We'll see. I don't know. We'll find out. But that just means that, the sellers get less. So there you go. Great time with you guys today. Thank you. Thank you for being on here. Thank you for participating. Again, if you haven't subscribed to Jerry Norton's, Jamil Damji's, Brent Daniels, that's me, and Pace Morby's YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. Put a lot of love and effort into that. I do a live show usually every Wednesday at 10 o'clock Arizona time, which is now on Pacific Standard Time. And so join us. We have a phenomenal, we're going to be doing some cold call breakdowns of actual call recordings. And I'll tell you what went right, what went wrong, and give some critiques so that you can be better on the phone. And just focus on talking to people, focus on taking massive imperfect action today. You are powerful. You have so much potential, and everybody can do this business. I did a podcast today, 26-year-old, been doing this business 3 years, out of Florida, out of Northwest Florida. He started calling on single family properties, did about 20, 30 deals, started going into multifamily. I had my notes here. March 14th, he closed on a property. March 28th, he sold that to his buyer, closed on it, got wired net after all the costs. He actually got wired $1 million plus net income to him, $860,000 from one cold call. From one call. It was a listed property on Crexy. He got it $1 million off the list price. And then sold it for the list price, essentially, after he closed on it. And he got 100% financing for that deal. No. He got 90% financing for that deal. 90%. No. Yeah, he had to put $200,000 down. But he had that saved up. 90% closed it, had the buyer already lined up. They closed it 2 weeks later. Wire into his phone, 26 years old. $860,000. Anybody can do this business. Anybody could do this business. He was in this business 3 years. Who are you going to talk to this week? What conversation are you going to have that's going to totally change everything, the trajectory of everything this week? That's all it is. All he did, find properties that look like deals, call up the agent, call up the owner, does it every day. He's done 2 other deals, one for 48 units, one for 44 units. 0 marketing budget. In your face, world. Absolutely incredible. So no excuses. I mean, do it or don't do it. It's up to you, right? But I'm just telling you, if you take this seriously, if you post every single day you buy houses, if you reach out to property owners that needs an investment in their properties, and you match them up with the people that want to invest in those areas, you can't lose. It's inevitable. It's undefeated. It's just a matter of time. So that's it. Thank you, guys. Join me Wednesday if you can. I'm Brent Daniels for Wholesale Hotline, number 264. We out. Love you guys.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.